when Ghostbusters 2016 had more believable paranormal investigators. Oh no, that's the wrong button. That button should have been the big one that did this.
The following video is brought to you through the generous support of viewers like you. If you like this content, then please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. And for those who are in the position to donate, this channel thanks you. And so does this orange cat.
Thank you so much for supporting this channel. I hate to bring up bad memories like Ghostbusters 2016, and especially when they kind of did what we did ask them to do. Well, I asked them to do with Afterlife, the movie before this, didn't they? They gave us kind of a passing of a torch to a new generation of Ghostbusters. Well, they skipped a generation of Ghostbusters, which I do need to kind of address. That's in my notes. Oh, I took notes again. This is how you know, and I'm wearing leather for some reason. I don't know. It'll probably make too much noise and I'll have to take it off. But somebody said it looked cool on the live stream this afternoon, so I'm going with it. And Ghostbusters 2016 had more believable paranormal investigators. Yes, they did. And I did enjoy the fact that Afterlife spent some time passing the torch to some new people. However, just because I said somewhere on a podcast once, hey, maybe it'd be a better idea rather than bringing in a bunch of women we don't know to come in and insult the original Ghostbusters to, I don't know, do some sort of a passing of the torch, doesn't mean that that's the only option that they should have gone with, right? Yeah, that would have been better, and that was better than 2016 for me personally. However, I did have my issues with the fact that most of the time anybody of the previous cast was on screen, and it took a while to get them on screen. That really made me, oh yay, now we're in a Ghostbusters movie, and now we're in a Ghostbusters movie.
Can I be of any help?
And this movie kind of suffers a lot of that. They pass the torch off to characters that they probably shouldn't have because it was a little too late at this point. Is this movie a good enough Ghostbusters movie for people who like the Ghostbusters movies as their identity? Yes. Oh, you guys are gonna love it. Those people are gonna love the crowd. If you go in and you have the costumes and you're gonna love it, you just ignore everything I say that's an actual critique about it as here's my brain, here's my movie brain coming in and picking apart all of this stuff. You guys are gonna love it. You're gonna be fine. For me, however, all of the complaints that I had, I think, on the original movie are tenfold more prominent in this, and they've added a lot of issues that were not in the previous film. Do you ever do that? You say two words at the same time? I do that all the time. Anyway, the previous film. And they said, oh, you didn't like that last time. Here's more of it. Here's more. And that's where a lot of the problem with this movie is. It is such a direct sequel to the previous film that you have to kind of remember. And I was satisfied enough with it. I said, it's better than 2016. It's a good goodbye point to the Ghostbusters characters, to the original characters, right? It's a good goodbye to Harold Ramis's character. However, when you kind of come out of that and your movie brain starts to kick in again, and then you see the sequel and you remember all the issues you had with the original, like the single mom who really is more interested in dating the high school teacher guy than Mr. Teacher Guy, than understanding anything that's going on in her children's lives, to the point of she can barely keep a roof over her own head. I mean, and that is one thing that kind of really annoys me about the film, is this kind of irresponsible single mom. Oh well, doesn't matter, kid's genius enough and can just support us. I guess they're living off of the kid being smart enough to, or are they making a living? I don't know. They just fall into this career of Ghostbusters now in this new movie. Now I'm finally jumping into this new movie. So the new movie, it opens where they're driving around in the Ecto-1, chasing a ghost or something, a ghost dragon through New York. And it's, again, the kind of not super likable family from the previous, instead of all of the Ghostbusters we actually wanted to see, or at least I wanted to see. There's a line that sums up, I think, a lot of the thought of this movie, a lot of my issues with this movie, and the fact that they pointed out doesn't really help it. The kid Phoebe, the granddaughter of Egon, she says to her mom, "You wouldn't even be answering the phones in this. There's no way you would be a Ghostbuster. You have no idea. You're not a scientist. You don't know anything. You're only a Spengler by name. You don't know any of this stuff that's going on, right?" Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, in this universe, the Lady Wham and Ghostbuster, do they exist? Because I remember they had made a huge deal that they couldn't afford the firehouse, so they're on top of the wonton Chinese restaurant, wonton. You know, like the wonton nougat code words that we're all sprinkling throughout the galaxy, like rainbow and pineapple, banana, stuff like that. When we see these new characters, you know, and they're chasing ghosts around, like, why are there no more qualified people? Why don't they call Ray Stantz, who literally has a bookstore in town and a YouTube channel?
Correct on both counts.
Oh, he's got a YouTube channel too. I would rather watch his YouTube channel about what he's getting up to with all his paranormal objects and stuff in his bookstore. Because I have history with this character. I have, about a year and a half, maybe 2 years with these new characters. I didn't care that much for them last time. Spoiler from the last movie. They're okay, they're passable. They didn't bother me, but they didn't interest me enough to come back for another helping of that. And I know that's my bad not watching the trailer. I didn't want to go in with any preconceived anything other than I knew Patton Oswalt was in this, and he's okay in this. His part in it is just probably one of the better parts. This film, though, however, has so many setups and side quests. It plays like one of those made for streaming TV shows where each episode sets up like another thing, you know. Okay, and now we got to go and set up getting Kumail Nanjiani, and now we got to go over and talk to Patton Oswalt, and now we got to go set up the new Ghost Containment Unit place. Oh, and now we got to see this, and now we got to see that. It feels like there's a lot of these subplots that set up a whole bunch of other films and franchise things and an animated series, and we're gonna have a book set series, and we're gonna have a this and a that and a YA this and a YA. It feels so YA now in a way that the original films never were. Is that fair for me to be upset by that? I think it is, because the original movie had grown adult parapsychologists, you know, people who worked at a university.
You volunteered, didn't you? We're paying you, aren't we?
Who knew what they were doing, who understood this, and now the most qualified person is a high school teacher and the teenage granddaughter of an original guy who actually knew and built the stuff, but only has a high school education with a single mom.
Buster makes me feel good. Makes me feel good.
Who, like, I don't even know if those kids have the same father. Do they? Oh, they brought the podcast kid along, the camera kid along to film Ray's channel for YouTube. Is it fair, though, to kind of coax your audience down into this YA demographic now, who kind of show up and are like, you know what, we get it that you're trying to do a new thing with new cast, right? We get that. Maybe that's why this movie isn't as advertised. I barely saw any advertising for this one. I think this is just gonna be for like your hardcore Ghostbusters fans and the people who are just, you know what, I don't mind a family romp. It's not an offensive film. It's not a woke film. There's no politicky things in it, right? So rest assured, none of that's in it at all, right? This is just me being a movie critic, for like as best as I can here. And this is where I have to kind of elaborate again on this YA subtext, subplot stuff. People will say, "Oh, Mecca, you're wrong, but there was this romance between Phoebe," spoilers, Phoebe and this ghost. And I say, what romance are you reading into this, where two female characters happen to be talking to each other and be friendsies, where, you know, you don't have to read that into it if you don't want to, pray tell, I'm wondering. Because you can read it that way if you choose to. You can also read it as super dorky awkward teen meets super dorky awkward ghost teen, and they have super dorky awkward dork off, blah blah blah, bland boring dial. They can't. These two girls. There's another problem I have. These two girls sound exactly the same. I'm a ghost. I'm a Ghostbuster. Do you want to be friends? Okay. They both have the same dorky cadence, awkward, monotone acting. It takes a long time out of the movie too. It's a bait and switch too. You think, oh, she's gonna go play chess in the park in the middle of the night, you know, and turn into a ghost herself. And then after that would have been a better plot if she had turned into a ghost herself and then haunted everybody from the afterlife and taught them and the useless mom how to actually, you know, do more than answer a phone. The mom doesn't even answer the phone. She can't even change a light bulb. She lets the kid change the light bulb. Yeah, just because I said, you know, it would have been better to pass the torch doesn't mean we want to focus on those characters exclusively now, right? I don't want the Lady Wham and Ghostbusters either, but they were at least more believable as Ghostbusters. And like, at least I kind of believed, even though they snapped them up in a flash, you know, and they were punching ghosts. That was so ridiculous. That one kind of exists in like the cartoon universe to me, doesn't it? In this more cartoony, comical. Why did my voice get really loud for a second? I'm not sure. So 4 out of 10. It's a 4 out of 10 for me. The more I think about it, the less I enjoy it. And why do I look like I'm leaning forward all the time on camera? I don't know. But I think it's the camera. The more I think about it, the less I enjoy it. Watch it though. I don't think you'll dislike it as much as I did. I think the majority of the movie going audience are gonna be like, it's okay. It is. It's okay. It is very long and boring in a few places, and then this happens, and then we go over here, and then we fast travel to this thing on this side quest, and now we're off on these characters, and then we never see that again. And you know, Kumail Nanjiani, he's got like some fire demon ability, fire god ability. We barely see a whole bunch of that. Okay, there's some PG-13 jokes in there that people are going to be offended by. Probably, well, the super uptight types. Are they the wokes or the anti-wokes anymore? I don't know. You tell me. I think they're both of them are pretty uptight. You know, you got the anti-wokes telling women to cover up, and you got the wokier than thous telling, oh, you can't. I don't even know what they're saying anymore. 4 out of 10. I am Mecca. We'll see you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.